Any other comments? Nothing's not on the agenda. Okay, I'm sure all of you have had time to, or the council have had time to read the minutes from last meeting. Any corrections or adjustments?
I don't have a correction. I have a question about clerical. All it says is that you were absent. And I just wonder if down the road, if people start counting absences, that there should be the reason you were absent put on there.
I think that's
don't know if
valid.
that's appropriate.
Can we just amend that to say that I was at a rural water conference? Yes, he was there.
Yes.
Okay.
Just for public, since the public reads these, maybe it would be, I don't know what proper policy is, but it just seems like it would be a good idea.
It's being very, yeah, it's all right.
Transparent.
My mind was blank. So transparent, that would be great. Thank you. We will make those changes and consider the minutes approved. Okay, committee reports, library.
Things.
I would like to just request again that the council members speak a little louder, so that everybody can hear us.
Tina and Lori are gone now, as of tomorrow morning, through the rest of the week to their conference in Great Falls. Tina is working disaster plan with Cody Nelson, and they even were meeting this afternoon. And they also want everybody to know that they are working on summer reading program for June and July. It will be Tuesdays this year, and the Tina will probably have a request for a wind impact money grant to be put on the agenda in the future. It's coming up. She doesn't have what she wants yet.
Any questions? Any comments? Okay, pre-board.
The pre-board met April 8th. We are going to workshop. We have a seat to be determined when we can do that. We are going to do a tree planting on the 24th at 10 o'clock. We're going to meet at the afternoon. Bob's already is going to order the trees and so we are doing as well. We do not have set up yet. This is the also we're going to Logan. I believe it's a fur at the park. I would say
And then there's also one going in the park, correct? Yeah. And then also over on A Avenue Northwest. I remember it.
Yeah.
No, courthouse is there, A Avenue.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's gonna be 4 trees planted, each one a different type tree, getting some variety. Since over 70% of our trees are the green ash, which are old. So, okay. Ordinance board.
16-15. Some version. The next 2 meetings. We'll have a recommendation. So that.
Okay. Any old business that I don't think we're missing? Okay, no old business, new business. We have Jonathan Weaver from Great West, sorry. And he'd like to talk to us about the Jawbone Dam problem. I mean, issue we have.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Jonathan Weaver, Great West Engineering. And you may or may not know you have floodable dams down here right inside the Jawbone Creek Golf Course. Upstream the dam is called Dam Number 1. And we, Great West, along with the city, inspected the dam. Routine 5-year inspection. And the pipe going through the dam, the upstream is a 12-inch asbestos cement pipe. And there's a pretty significant crack in it. So around the parts of the pipe. Right now, the pipe is exposed to feet of soil see the explosive pipe, get a better look at it. We also did a video inspection of the pipe in 2025 and confirmed that crack didn't all the way circumference. The dams are considered a hazard. We have to get a permit from the DMC on a basis. That's part of the inspection. And as a condition of that permit, the DMC has given the city until October 31st of this year to repair that conduit. So at the end of last year, Great West obtained a grant to further investigate the crack and come up with some alternatives for repair. And then Bob and Mayor a month ago with some alternatives. I'll just briefly describe them. There's a picture of the crack from the rear up there, the ones that have been set. The first alternative to repair would be the clear replace liner. We think maybe we do that up and get pursuer way. It essentially looks like a big tube stock, and they pull this tube stock through the pipe, they pull it up, it's a good nice the pipe, and they cure it replace. And essentially that new pipe replacing the design and completely replace the. That would be the first alternative, and I would say the preferred alternative. There's a so it is a specialized construction method that there are. And we estimate the cost of that to $2,000. There's a couple other alternatives which I would consider spot repairs. And they would essentially be a similar type system where the cure replace the liner, or perhaps only over a 4-foot liner. And the cost for those repairs being $1,000. There's a grant opportunity through the DNRD. It's considered an emergency grant, so I think got some conversations with the DNRD Grant Bureau and the Dam Safety Bureau. Both of them, the Dam Safety Bureau says they would write a report for the application. The Energy Grants Bureau that it's eligible. It seems like it'd be a good fit. So I can't make any guarantee, but I think it would have a good possibility for the city to apply for those funds. That grant to $30,000, so I think it would likely cover the entire cost of construction. The cost for the prepare the grant application would be $2,500. That would need to be paid out of the city's property to run a grant to cover the grant application. And so, Mr. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the action items that the council will decide on are: one, the alternative to perform the repair and like replace liner or the spot repair, and then two, whether the offer periods apply for the grant cities. Yes, ma'am.
This be something. Supposed to last.
They say 75 for it, and I agree. And I didn't mention this 15 feet downstream of that called the main cracker. We've got a video inspection. Called precipitate circumference of the pipe. We think it's another crack. It's kind of too cranked up in the video to help with sure, but the POPP would take care of this all. I would agree with you. Nominal increase in cost for the full plan.
Susan?
You're calling it dam number one, but I don't know which dam is dam number one. In the golf course,
The one up on northwest corner
Yeah.
of the golf course.
Yep.
so it's inside the fence of the golf course.
Correct.
Okay. And then your spot repair number 2 choice. You said about $10,000, is that's the completed project? Or there's more than one crack and so it's 10,000 per crack?
It'd be $11,000.
But it would have, see, there's more than one crack, would it repair, would the 11,000 repair all the cracks? Or we 11,000?
Yeah, there's a little bit of $5,500, and then each crack repair would be about $5,500.
Oh,
It's just green.
Oh, okay, no, I that, okay.
There's two other items that I'd like to just bring up for their knowledge. Okay, number one is that dam is 0.1 feet below what they say is acceptable. Now, if we corrected this, would that help on that? No, okay.
Trying to explain that.
Yeah, explain that a little bit. 0.1 feet is less than 2 inches.
Yeah. Tough one.
Yeah.
As part of the dam inspection, we did a hydraulic evaluation of the dam. And so it's, right, so there's a lot of engineering in here, but what you do in Montana, you have called a Montana inflow design flow. And that's a certain amount of rainfall that falls based on how many people are at risk if the dam were to fail. And so we, in a hydraulic model, took 6 inches of rain, fell to the basin above the Joplin Dam and moved on, came into the dam, and our model showed that when that rainfall event came into the dam, the water actually overtopped the dam by about 1/10 of a foot. And that's unacceptable in terms of Montana regulations. And regulations say that the dam can overtop inflow design flow. Now, there's some additional analysis we're gonna do in the city where we think, based on some better estimates of the population at risk, we can provide the Montana inflow design flood. Likely the dam won't show it or that's sort of a separate issue. It's also a condition dam operation permit, which is due by August 30th.
We have to do that loss of life calculation. If that dam failed and went down to the second dam, then how many people would be affected on the creek coming through, Jawbone Creek coming through town? And then we'll have to have that done by August. But this, I think, helps in some areas to have that pipe fixed.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. Probably. The NRC's been pretty gracious. City to.
Any other questions, Jonathan? Any thoughts?
When you line that pipe, you can line it all the way through?
Kind of, the upstream end of it is a 12-inch diameter pipe, like I mentioned, and when there's a riser, I split the pipe in half, it's downstream that riser is I believe a 2-foot diameter pipe down to the outlet. And that 2-foot diameter pipe is in good shape, so it'll just be the upstream 12-inch diameter portion, which. And then once we get to the riser, it'll stop. So.
Questions?
Maybe I'll just mention, I think just talking to the contractor, the repair probably would take place this summer, which would be ideal from constructability if we drive by then. Feel people. Get off and then start it.
I've not gone up that direction. I mean, I've driven by, but I've never paid any attention to all of that. But yeah, it's something we'd have to work on. And even, you did say that there are some things that we need to take care of. As far as on that, where that 2-foot pipe comes out, we need to take out some of the cattails and a bunch of other stuff in there. Which would be kind of a city job where we get a contractor to do that or something like that, correct?
Yeah, you can use it before. Or
Okay.
you have to get it.
Okay, okay. Anyway, those issues that are involved with our job on dams. There are 2 dams up there and 2 dikes. If you guys didn't know that. If you didn't look at, on its hunt, you'll find out the dam 1 is located just above the hospital. It's off. I don't know how they got it off, but it's too far south from where it actually is. But it's, you know, where the corner comes going out the airport road. It's a dam right off to your right. As you're making that corner. That's a dam that we're looking at. Okay,
It's the fairway of number 7.
yeah, I don't know, I don't play golf, father-in-law wouldn't let me, so anyway,
Okay.
okay,
Thank you.
is there anything else? And we can let Jonathan go, because it is an actionable item later on in meeting tonight, because we've got 5 or 6 items we need to deal with. And so we just put it down with all the actionable, if that's okay with you.
I would be qualified to answer.
Yeah, there's. She hit me with 3 of the 4 that we got down there, so we'll come up with that here in a few minutes, okay? If there's no further questions, we'll let Jonathan go. He has to go back to Helen, but thank you very much for coming, Jonathan. Okay, Donna Nesty, if you're interested. The paper that he has, I have a copy of it here. He didn't bring it up for everybody, but you're welcome to take a look at it. Well, we pass it around, we're sitting around doing nothing now, but that's up to you, okay? Donna Nesty was gonna be here and give us a report, an update on the hospital and what's going on happening there. So she's not here. Can we bypass that and come back to another time? Okay, we'll do that. Harleton baseball fencing request act. Is that just Kylie or is it Kylie and Mariah? Okay, good.
Baseball, we are asking the city, if we would be able to put in permanent fence at the end of the city field. We have been using it in fence, so we have faces the window and just going that. Just seem like to keep buying more fencing, they do something like that for a while. So we are hoping to put a perimeter fence around the field. We'll sit about 160 feet in the backstop, and it'll stop at the basically. It also would help us bring our T-ball field back from the side of the track to back in that spot. So there's building fence, and then there's actually removing the other side piece fence in between the discus and shop. It's all broken and. Yep. Broken. Broken into shell, so removing that, adding in a new fence, that will give us plenty of T-ball area into that. So then we can have all of our fields like closer and together. Yeah. And there's going to be room for mowing, for trying to get through these ones and then we are bottom, but we do have field maintenance. County and city fields, but we do that we want to make sure we're doing our part in keeping it looking nice. So that's what we already went and talked to the superintendent KD and they're fine with play with them on that. If you guys, just so you know that we already here at school, city is up there. And after we had some talk, we had a couple minutes together.
Let's deal with the fence first.
Yeah.
One question, have you talked as far as who and how construction will be done? Then my own question is, some of the chain link fences that get is town, the concrete around the posts. Make the voice difference to. So that would be my only concern, making sure that we
Because I know this is done right by the back. So that was due to the wolf, just so everybody knows that. Make sure people and put it out. So we do plan on doing that, and we were we go through it needs to be also made, we have.
Okay. That was gonna be a question that I had. How much is the total project?
Yeah.
Okay. But just as point of conversation, do you have any kind of guesstimations on what it's gonna cost? I haven't got any bids yet, but you do have it covered by. Okay,
Distribute the farmers. Or something, city stuff, within your guys' field, we just. Put down there.
that's one.
The city field, yeah. So I have a question back to the fence. So when moving the fence for the T-boat, that's the fence that's right, that is west, that is the west end of the field. The street side and the south end is staying. Yeah. Yeah. So, bring in or. But you're gonna bring in fencing south and west or just west? We are in our field. Like we're putting a bridge. Yeah. Sure. Yes, and so. Was this, yes. So you're looking at fences, we're taking that, you like to take out fence off because. I know you're gonna. It's big, and the light is green and. Just straighten it out of this. Do the ball, that. What we want for the other things is just around the field. So the, like a permanent around the field without way we take the ball. But so it will be where and back.
kind of weird. So
Yes. Yeah. It's the. Okay, here's our field, here's our. Doing perimeter and. Okay. To some. Or do you go into. And then this side and this big shop. We want to take that out completely and have it be this big. Does that answer your question? Yeah. I didn't. Transparency.
okay.
Because as of January 1, all grants go to the council. Which they probably didn't know. We need to approve them spending that grant, and that's not on the agenda. So.
Okay, so can we approve them moving forward? And then next council meeting, we will approve them applying for the grant. Is that okay? But again, it's because money has to come in and go out.
Oh, yeah.
And all we're trying to do is make sure that we're covered and all of that. That's the main thing, yeah, okay.
People want we wait in for the grant on the 24th, 5th,
Before,
24th April or June.
that's the next council meeting for us.
Okay, 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
All my meetings
taking out the fence that we want to take out. Could we start on that? If we approved it.
Okay. So then we would need a motion for them to be able to,
Do it a favor, that's great.
to allow them to start getting ready for putting the fence in and taking the other one out. And they're getting. Now, we have to come back for the bid, for the grant part of that. Okay.
That day could be the 28th.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, you're right, 2 weeks from today,
That,
okay.
so for that meeting, would you just have to have, like, what it will be?
Kind of what I do. Oh.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I would think that they can start they're putting in their. Involved in fence.
There a second?
Charlie.
Oh, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry, okay, thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the public? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, passes unanimously, okay? And we will put, the grant on for next council meeting, okay? You said there were a couple other small items?
Legal person. So on the moving field. There's a spigot there, is that city law or is that, who pays for that? Cause we would like to be able to use it when we start maintaining that playing field as well, or have to water some of it. We are trying to get room to establish, so we were just curious on that spigot, what,
What could be done?
yeah.
Okay, I think that Bob's been working on a solution for that. And we'll have to come back with some information if that's okay, because he's been looking at it.
Make sure it's paid.
Yes.
We appreciate so much being in these fields that we are, like, we don't all put in other stuff. Because we want to make sure, you know, we want to make our town nice, we then who's done, and we want to be a part of that. We also want to need to like our fields, so we can even possibly start that year. So if that.
That might be something that would be good for the recreation committee to discuss, okay?
Yeah.
We're getting down to it, so.
Amazing thing we have thought about is painting the dugouts and showcasing folks like families and friends who donate and giant signs for everybody. I want you guys to be okay with us painting the dugouts, doing that. Just because again, it's your guys' kind of thing, your guys' field to make sure. I would figure that. So. Okay, yes, so I. If we would, you guys would be okay with doing that, we would make sure that it's painted nicely and. If you guys would look at it, give those field on it, maybe get some of those. Okay, good.
Would it be okay to refer this again to the recreation committee? And we'll go through that as. Okay, if that would work.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is talent grant approval for the library in the city to make action. The talent or talent, how we pronounce that word? Is it talent or talent? Talent?
We went to school with them, but they're.
Okay. For this nice organization that helps us out on grants, we need approval for, the library. Library is, forgot what they're applying for.
Everything she applied for last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
but she didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Last year she had applied for $10,000 and for equipment, et cetera, and did not get it. So she'd like to reapply for that. We're looking at,
We're looking at the spay and neuter, weed money, recycle money. We're looking at, did I say weed spray?
yeah,
Yep.
the weed spray.
Weed spray, recycle money, spay and neuter. We've got a couple small projects at the pool.
You got a diving board,
That's on the bear.
well, that's on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay, and that's what we would like to apply
Yeah.
for on ours, the city side. So
For that, is it just council?
we do.
You do both at the same time, so. You do library.
Library and it has to come through council on both of them. So it's all the same one and actually, pardon?
I'll make a motion.
Frank did.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Michelle, second it. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign, passes unanimously. Okay, every city has to have what they call a capital improvement plan. It has to be done every 5 years, or should be done, let me put it, it should be done every 5 years. The reason for it being that every 5 years, you need to make sure that people know, what the city's plan is moving forward for projects that we'd like to have done and where we are, with those projects, as well as, some things that we need to get done, and this CIP plan makes you eligible for grants and loans and forgiveness of debt. The last one that was done that we know of was 2014. I do know that from records here, April 2021, the council approved moving forward to do that. September 2021, we said yes, and through a resolution, we are going to do that. Found a letter in August of 2024, which says they were rescinding the funds, sending them back because they didn't have time to do it. So I would like to have permission to request that we get us a grant to work on our CIP plan. The dates that would be available would be this summer, early fall. Great West would be the one who would make application for us, and they would be the ones who would help us put this CIP plan together. So that we can move forward with our projects without any question about our, what do you call it, qualifying for projects and loans.
Okay.
Right, well, the grant, okay. Is there a second? Okay, any questions or?
They're not gonna write that grant for free. On Great West,
They're not,
so
that I know of at this point, but again, sometimes they've told us that they can get grants that would cover their portion of it too.
plus we don't know how much they would charge us to write the grant,
At this
get the
point.
grant.
I want permission to proceed forward with it. And then we'll come back with a resolution 2 weeks from now, stating what information we found and what.
So is there money for them to do that if they can't find money to write the grant?
The money is available, it's just that the window to get it open or for it to open isn't up yet. There's no available for us to make application.
I think she means, is there money in the city?
To pay them.
grant, if they can't get grant money to write a grant.
I was wanting permission to proceed to find out what it's gonna cost and what is involved there, so we can come back with a resolution, is what I was in hopes of. Did I not say that?
Said it, I just, I,
I want to pursue the avenue of and see where it goes. And then I can come back and tell you if there's gonna be any additional costs or any cost for us.
Oh.
And then we put that in a resolution form, like we did back in September of 2020. If that works. Is that clear? Okay. I just was struggling with the fact that we hadn't done it in 2021 and 2022. So. I would. You have before you the
No,
park use agreement.
We gotta
Pardon?
vote, gotta
Oh,
vote on that.
vote? Yeah, sorry. Okay, good. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign, passes unanimously. We'll proceed and see where we're at with that. Next item on the agenda is the park use agreement. I would entertain a motion to table this until next council meeting. We found some information that would change this, and we need to take a look at that before we pass on this one. So I would entertain a motion to move it. Second, okay. Any questions?
I would like, Sheila came specifically for this.
Okay,
And she has a very good idea that I would like to out into the sticks before we start discussing whatever had about it. But I
okay.
would like her to say that.
What's happened in the past, and brought it up in the past, and the partner can probably back this. I feel it's a good idea if you no alcohol. Alcohol included in the playground area, for one. And we need to be teaching back beer and with our kids, because that's just not safe. The second thing is, by the law enforcement go, if the park was to be closed, like quiet hours at 10 p.m. or at midnight, for a couple of reasons. Lots of times you'll have people down in the park, they might be a little loud or boisterous, and you can't ask them to leave, even though we have campers staying there, unless the camper wants to complain. I ran into that problem a couple of times as a deputy. If you were to close the park, they'd like to say to the clock. It gives them probable cause to go and say, hey, what are you doing? Stop babies, don't go here. Go somewhere else. It's also nice because I can't hear you. Great. So that was a couple of things that keep in my mind. Park agreement, so the quiet hours, because of the campers. I know alcohol area, at least for the playground area. Really, birthday parties, events is when alcohol, but they don't take in. So. And then those in the park at certain hours, just for law enforcement reasons.
It says close the park. She's not talking about the, because the campers are still there.
Yeah.
He's talking about the pavilion.
And that's normally where they are trying to get their agreement to use. Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah,
okay,
it's not like.
not I'm closing the whole part.
Gate.
You know, you're gonna close the pavilion area, there's baseball game. Let's close the baseball game too. They have.
You're talking black fence around the playground and put signs around that thing? By the gates.
You don't need massive. The beer cans, grass. I just think when the kids are playing specifically. Obviously, in the pavilion, right side, volleyball courts. All that's open. I'm just thinking of the age.
Inside down the pool, it's got alcohol, no smoking, no drugs, all that stuff, something like that.
Because baseball field is so close to the gates. With temperatures coming up,
Meaning some parents will take it upon themselves, stop all different player, turn into a problem. So cutting it off, snake, it's.
Yeah.
It keeps them safe. Okay? Any other thoughts or suggestions? Just-
I'm good with the quiet time, I mean, quiet time, thing, but. Shut it up, alright.
Most of our.
Right, through stuff.
This is out of fire.
It's the pavilion area, people being there. By the campers and by the playground. The rest of the park is still open.
Just with 10 in the winter and midnight in the summer. I think will be a normal frivolity that
Okay,
will take care
Mostly like just get out of the pavilion, or would it just be free?
well, the use agreement is reserving that pavilion area
Okay.
for an event of sorts. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Yeah. Okay. Bob?
Couple of things, we talked about baseball field, tennis court, talked about the play area. Which is gonna be.
Okay.
Considered as private.
But I think that if we were to refer that type of item back to the recreation committee.
Yeah.
So that we get a full report of what we need and how we need it, from them. As they take a look at what they need, what they would like to have down there and then we can calculate costs and this way, would that be all right? With those?
Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the city has a storage. In.
I thought it was 10, I thought it was 10, unless you're a minor. And then I can't remember what it was.
The ordinance that we have currently with the office, is weekdays is 10 p.m. The quiet hour, that's. Minor clear out. And then begins as,
So it's both at 8 AM.
I think it goes from 8 AM. To 10 PM on the weekdays, and then it's 8 PM to mid. I'd have to look at it again, but.
Do this, I think we match the current. ordinance.
Right. And that's what we need to do, that's what we'll. Make sure we got a score, okay? Any other comments or talk? Motion and a second on the floor, did we vote on it?
Mm-mm.
All in favor of moving this park use agreement to next council meeting, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign, will pass unanimous, okay. There were some issues about the alcohol part that we want to make sure we cover. Because we do have to have additional coverage, but there was some other things involved there, so that's why I was wanting to move that off, okay. You also had in your council packet an estimate from Inland Truck Parts and Service to repair our newest dump truck. That's a transmission. It's popping out of gear at most inopportune times. And so we want to make sure that it's fixed so that it runs well for whatever we need to use it for. The bid is for $6,723.63. And there are funds available, if I remember right. I mean, there are expense categories that we can put this expense into. By dividing it between, the 4 different areas for it normally used. But because it is a $6,700 item, we thought we should bring it to council to get council's approval on that repair. It's a 2006 Ford. Yeah, so it's the last one we bought a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I guess, I know it was on council before when we bought it. And so, yeah,
I have a question about Bob.
okay,
It's not torn apart, this is Inland's best guess, correct? So they could get in there and something else. So when you said there's enough money for the 67, is there a cushion at all for?
Yes, well, it depends on how much, if it's gonna cost us $20,000, I think you need to take a review. Now, if it's pretty close to 6,700, maybe 7,000, is that okay?
That's what I was
Yeah,
questioning.
yeah,
Thank you for not taking it down there and tearing it apart and they put it back together. But do we need to give him a contingency of another $1,000 to get it repaired without having another council meeting?
And there is.
there is, okay, there is enough there to do that for an extra 1,000. So that we give about back, at 77,000, or $77,000.
Is that a good number, another 1,000?
Yeah.
Be a good cushion or?
Through this case, the park expensive.
Is there enough for two?
That,
Yeah.
we got it done.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put inland or Bob in a bind if we don't need police. Is my opinion.
Just give your.
So, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I would move that we do this and with a $2,000 cushion, or else they have to come back and stay there.
Any further questions or? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign, passes unanimously. Okay. We have applications for people to be on some of our committees, boards that we put into place. On the tree board, we currently have on there Alicia Moe, Diane Jones, Bob is on there, and
Vicky.
Vicky's on there, our representative Vicky's on there. Okay, now Mandy and Sarah are reference. Yeah, they are helping us with other information, to make sure we got it, where to get stuff, how to get stuff, and where to get connected, to MSU, etc. I would, with your approval, I would like to add Todd Shaw and Steve Martin to that.
You need a motion for that?
I don't know that we need a motion, but I need your approval. Okay, for the Recreation Committee. From our council, we have Charlie Bennett and John Billadou. We've talked to
Darian.
pardon?
We've got Darian.
And Darian on there, yes. Has already agreed to be part of that. We'd like to add Kylie Meeker and Aubrey Miller to that board. So with your approval, we'll add those members on there. I still think it leaves us one position on the tree board and maybe one more on the recreation board. Pardon?
I got a guy interested in getting on.
Okay, and the reason why we want both those boards to be fairly good size is because we need some real help. Recreation, we put into the resolution for it, we include the baseball diamonds, the basketball courts, the old skating park, we got the swimming pool, the pickleball court. That's a lot of stuff to cover. And so if you want some good people on that, and I think we've got some real good members of it right now. Same thing with the tree board. We need a lot of help with our trees and scheduling things, and there are a lot there. Patrick told us from Townsend, he says there's a lot of money available, but you just have to know where to apply to get money to help with some of that. And so we want to make sure what's going on, and we need to be able to, if we can, I know that we're limited on crew to be able to do all of it themselves, they can't do it. But we need some help in those areas, knowing what to do, how to do it, and where to go. And so that's what the hopes of these committees will help us with. Okay. And those who agreed to be on those committees, I really appreciate them a whole lot. And I'm expecting good things for us through that. Okay, Thank you. Okay. Let's send these three this way. Let's send these three this way. Get that one for you, also Brenda, that one for you. And if there's any in the audience that would like to know about it, what I wanted to help understand is that we as a city have obligations. We have responsibility, and you know that, correct? And a lot of people come to you and say, well, yes, you have the power to do this, okay? You see the first highlight on the first page, pink highlight? These are things that the city has power to do. On the second page, there's one that's highlighted. These are things we cannot do. Okay, it's predicated on a couple things. Number one, we have to do it fair and equitably for all people. It cannot specifically state this person or this business has to do certain things. Either it's for all businesses or for no businesses. It's for all people in our city or it's for no people in our city. It has to be fair and equitable. Okay, and you'll notice in here, there are several things it says we can do. And one of the things it says on number 19, second page, it says we can condemn and demolish hazardous structures. Sounds good, doesn't it? Who's gonna pay for it? If you don't have an ordinance in place that spells it out, you can't do it. We have the power, but we only get the power or take the power when we have an ordinance in place to operate. Okay? And that's for all of those 24 items there that says we have the power to do. And so that's why we're struggling a lot right now to get our ordinances in place so we can enforce them. So we can make it so that Tim knows he's got power behind him to do it. And that Sheila knows this is what we're looking at and this is why. Okay, so I appreciate your help, and if people ask you, why doesn't the city take care of this issue? First response, we're working on it for an ordinance and trying to get them shaped up. And number two, until that's done, we don't have the power. If it's not legal and not enforceable, we don't have the power. I want you to understand that, okay? It may be kind of basic, but we've had a lot of issues lately, and I want to make sure that you understand it before we go any farther. And again, it has to be fair and equitable. Fair and equitable means that everybody shares in it the same or has the same responsibility and or penalty or not. Okay? If it's not, then we are in deep trouble. Is that clear? Questions? Thoughts?
Thanks.
Pardon?
If we're gonna do ordinance, cleaning up Arlo, we as the city council, we have to look at ourselves first before we can make a law for somebody else.
Didn't I say it's fair and equitable?
Right.
We're residents of the community.
Right.
If we are voting for it, we have to also abide by it. If we're not abiding by it, then we are subject to the penalty we're trying to force on somebody else. And I don't care how rich you are, how much property you have, it's equitable for everybody. It's not a certain few. We cannot, by state statute, single out one person or one business. And it can't be because you hate the neighbor's color of his house. Okay, it has to be, again, fair and equitable. So keep that in mind in anything that we transact. Okay, we're good? Anything else? Okay. We've already been an hour. Hopefully we can cover this in about 30 minutes. If you're willing to go fast. Okay, why why do we have water and sewer projects in our city? We do it so we can have clean water, so we get rid of the waste, right? And we want to make sure that we have enough money to cover the maintenance, the operation, depreciation on the system, and the debt that we have. We have approximately $4 million in debt. 40-year loans. Did that sink in yet? $4 million, and we're paying out of 40 years. Okay, right now on our loan structure, we have for water projects, I don't remember how much dollar is, but I know it's about 80-some thousand dollars a year we're paying out in payments. And by law, we have to be able to have at least 1 year of that in reserve plus 10%. And then we need a smaller amount in reserve in case something goes ouch. Currently, we have, I think it was 80,000,
Mhm.
right at $80,000 in reserve. So we're almost there on the water. Okay. On our sewer projects, if I remember right, it's about $104,000 a year that we are paying on our debt for the sewer. That means we have to have about roughly $15,000 in reserve. And we have to have, again, another smaller amount in case something blows out. So we can pay for it. Currently, we have about, if I remember right, about 24,000,
No, that one's got 43.
43,000. I reverse the figure. We have $43,000 in reserve. So we need roughly another $70,000 put in reserve for that by law. Okay? By law, and let's see what I've got for the code on that. Paper. Anyway, there is a code that I give it for you. I know it's in my pile here somewhere. I'll come across it shortly. Anyway, there's a filing or a code, state code that says that we have to have our water and sewer because they are functional
Enterprise funds.
enterprise funds. And they have to be conducted as their own business. That means our water invoicing has to cover our expenses plus 10%. 10% is a reserve that we're to be putting in case a vehicle breaks down, in case some other equipment happens that we need to worry about. Okay, same thing with our sewer. I will mention the transfer station. It's kind of a special case, but at this time, we're not going to talk about it. Okay. By the way, FYI, Susan helped us out. The $2.23 that everybody pays on their water bill, water and sewer bill. Doesn't that go back to a well testing for the 3 wells that we had when we had our own landfill? To make sure that our water was not getting tainted with whatever was in the landfill. Now, technically, that should have gone off some time ago, but it's been going on forever. So the $2.23, people say it's a tax. That's what it came on for. We're looking at other avenues to go with it. Okay. So that's just a FYI. Did you talk about the other thing at this point too?
Might as well.
Might as well. I'm gonna throw it out. See, you guys are gonna get home. If you get a headache, join me. Okay, because of issues we've had with water, sewer, water and sewer, I'm sorry, with the garbage. And people who either have service, don't have service, that put it in somebody else's dumpster, etc., you know, this kind of stuff. We have approached Republic to find out what it would cost for a municipal contract. What that is that everybody in the city would be on the same schedule because they would be billed by us. And that normally, because it's only one bill that we're paying and not everybody happened to pay an individual bill, it would reduce the rate. Now, he hasn't told us yet how much it is. I want you to know we're just starting the negotiation or the understanding of what's going on with that. The caveat to that is that either we can include the businesses or not include the businesses, and it depends upon what kind of dumpster or what kind of frequency they have for delivery. But people would all be on the same bill. Except for those with the bigger trash cans. Okay. But we would be billing them. That would also mean that everybody who has water would also be being billed for the
Garbage.
garbage pickup. That way, if you're gonna pay for it, you get it. Shouldn't you? Anyway, we're looking at what it's gonna be. I think most people right now are paying about $40 a month, isn't it? 40 or 30, what? Every 3 months is quarterly, but if you divide it by three. It was $40 a month. We're in hopes that it might come in under that if we go to municipal, but that again, that's what we're looking at. Also, our transfer station, as I mentioned it earlier, we are underwater on that. Big time. And we've talked to them about maybe taking over the control of or operating the transfer station for us. Currently, we do not have the current bill of what they're gonna charge us for items that we put into the dumpsters. But we're supposed to have that, their year end is the same as ours, June 30th. So in hopes of having that before then, so we can also take a look at that. Okay, that's an FYI on the side. Water and sewer, we have to cover. And we've talked about Bobby Schuler from Montana Rural Water will be here on the 24th, Friday the 24th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I know not everybody can make it at that time. If you can, it'd be great. People in the community are invited to be there, and she will go over the rate, how we came up with the rate increases we're looking at. And tell you why, because it's based on expenses, debt structure, how many EDUs we're using throughout our community. It's kind of nice because the computer's already set to, all she has to do is plug in some figures and it'll tell you what's going on. Okay, and I want particularly as many council members as we can to be here for that, because it will give you some enlightenment on what's going on. We will record it. So if you cannot see it or be there at that time, it will be out on Facebook. So you can
On
watch the Facebook
YouTube.
presentation. YouTube, I'm sorry, YouTube, not Facebook, YouTube. It will be out there for that, for those of you who might want to watch it before. Bobby will also be with us on the 28th meeting to go through it with everybody here. But I thought it would help the council if they knew in advance, and as many people in the public who could be here to find out about that at that time. It'll be here, yes. Okay, April 24th, it'll be at 2 o'clock here. And April 28th, which will be our next council meeting, it'll be at 7 o'clock. Okay. So she'll be here both those times and presenting for us at that time. And I know that we kind of threw out the figures, just FYI, we threw out $83.92 for the water and $60.66 for the sewer. So it'd be $144.58 total. Okay. Got that? You're okay with that? FYI, informational? You're shaking here. These three this way. These four this way. And public, if you're interested, I have a couple extra copies. Probably you had more than that. Maybe we got three extra copies here. If you're interested in taking a look at it. Okay. We have a great crew working in our city office, whether they be in public works, library, or the city office here. I want you to know they work hard. If you haven't noticed, the Public Works took a 3,500-pound safe out of our office here and put it over in the museum. They do good work, and we didn't drop it. It tipped a couple times, but we didn't drop
About there.
or 400 a piece, or under $400 a piece. So you're talking a lot of money that we would have to replace those with. Then we came across, or Anita came across, looking through there and through the city, you know, making sure that everybody has water that should be having water or that's on the bill. Okay, our billing. And we came up with some single EDUs, 2 dwellings. We came up with some miscellaneous problems, which are really issues, problems, bad issues, because we haven't figured them out yet. And then going back to the severed with meters and severed without meters. Now, I want you to know that all 98, you see the total there, number of EDUs, all 98 are active on our billing system. But outside of the 28, well, actually outside of the 35, all are not being billed. Because they're severed, we're set in the system as severed, which means don't bill them for water because they're not using any water. Okay, and you see a little farther off to the right-hand side, because it talks about the problems, and I just kind of gave a brief mention on a couple of them. We know that there are 2 houses in our town we cannot supply sewer to. They do the water, but not the sewer. Okay, we know that in the 41 severed with meter, there are 2 of them that we got corrected. They're using water, so we got them billed. Okay, so that still leaves us with, if you see in the far right hand, there's 59 that are not being billed water, 59 not being billed sewer, and 59 not being billed the solid waste. Did I spell that right? Waste, W-A-I-S-T?
Yeah.
Waste.
Oh, I just haven't received that. Oh, this is terrible. Spell check, you didn't catch me. Okay, so anyway, it's W-A-S-T-E. So we have 59 of those. We go to the middle of it, it shows you the water, the basic rate currently is 76.42 per unit. Sewer is 37.14 and the solid waste 223. You carry that across and get a monthly total of $6,831 and not being billed. And for years time, that's $81,979 that we are losing out the backside. And we talked before about trying to get our EDUs down to what is actually true. And we came down to, I think, 626 of them, if I remember right. Something like that, 626 or 626, something like that. And we had applied with or made application or letter of intent with the Central Montana Water Board to see if we could get our EDUs reduced. Okay. They said, they didn't out loud say, but they said we got a bond issue coming up in April, so we won't consider them, and everybody can recount their EDUs in May, and then they would take effect July 1. So we have not gotten an answer yet whatsoever. If we take, and because at first we only thought there were 40, that we would have to take off our active EDUs. If we took 40 off our active EDUs, our rate increase would go up another $30. So instead of being 140 something, it'd be 170 something.
So
Our rate goes up because we have fewer people paying for it. And so the fewer people that pay for it, they have to pay more.
Because our expenses aren't
Our
going
expenses-
down.
Yeah,
at the same rate that the
water projects or
revenues go
sewer
down.
projects are stationary. Well, the bills, according to the computer system, we're billing 500 people at single EDU, you know, but what is 500?
But, I can't remember.
579, I think it is, 579 on actual EDUs based on size, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, inch and a half, and 2 inch. Okay, that we are billing, but of those, 40 or 59 are not being billed. They are active, they are in our account, but they're not being billed.
So they figure out what the bill should be for the loans.
Yes, the EDUs,
Mhm.
the number of EDUs and our rates make a difference on what kind of money we get on loans and or grants. Am I explaining it so you understand it? If you have a question, now's the time to ask.
So we need 50 more people to come ahead.
We either need 50 more people to come ahead, or we need to bill people who are currently shut off, but they have the ability to have the water, they're just not doing it. Because either the house is uninhabitable, but the property's still there, and some of these have gone back to 2008, if I remember right, 2008. A lot of them happened in the last 7, 8 years, 9
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
Where they were having trouble. Some people, okay, my sewer line broke, so I'm not gonna fix it yet, but if you'll put me on no bill, I'll get it done. Well, they haven't got it done yet. We know some people have been without sewer and without water for a couple of years, oh, well, 5 or 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9 years, and vice versa.
So those are the ones that are stubborn with the meter.
Either with a meter or without. We found out that some of those that were coded 7 with meter didn't have it, and those that coded without meter did have a meter.
Mhm.
So there's a whole bunch of items in here we're gonna have to correct and look at. But I wanted you to know that this is what we're looking at. That's why, when you look at our 2025 year end, which would be June 30th, 2025, if you look at the financials, which is going to be audited in June. Okay, they put it off, it's gonna be audited in June. And because we cannot finance. What's funds again?
Enterprise.
Enterprise funds, we cannot finance enterprise funds from general funds,
Mhm.
which is tax money that we get. Okay, this is also why one of the findings that we got on our audit. This last one we've been working on, that the state says something doesn't look right here. So we're now finding out what's been going on and what happened. Okay, so when people say my water bill's too high, you can say the infrastructure, which is the base rate, is what covers getting you clean water. If you look down here a little farther, it says our water, we're billing them by resolution 2020-23 and 2023-02. We're billing water at a rate of $1.75 per 1,000 gallons. That means for every gallon that you use, it's 0.00175. It's less than 2 cents per gallon that you're actually being charged. Because on your water bill, you have the infrastructure and your water is listed separately. And they did in one of these resolutions say that we would bill on our sewer bill $1.75 per every 2,000 gallons of water used. As an example, you use 2,000 gallons in your house, we bill you $1.75 for the per 1,000 gallons. So that's what, $3.50, right, for your water. And on the sewer, we bill you $1.75. Now, again, you have to realize that not all of this a lot of the billing was incorrect Because you had some people on sewer at a flat rate, or water at a flat rate, or not billing for any water. And that creates a problem of loss for us as a city. So to be fair and to be equitable, we have now corrected all the accounts towards based on EDU, number one, for the base rate. And the water is based on $1.75 per 1,000 gallons and $1.75 per 2,000 gallons on the sewer system to help cover it. Now, I stopped in mid-sentence. So we're now for the 2025 ending year balance on our sewer, on our water account, as an example. The difference between what we brought in and what we spent on water. Any ideas? We spent $103,000 more than we brought in. On the sewer, again, income to expenses, there's $133,000 difference. You're talking 240,000, 239,000 roughly. I know it's in that ballpark. 230 some thousand dollars difference between what we brought in and what we spent. I say this to tell you that when we said that we were going to start building ourselves, I think at one time I told you that if we build ourselves, we could come up with about $40,000 of water and outlets, EDUs that were being billed for through our billing ourselves and paying ourselves. So 230,000 minus 40 is what? 190,000. Okay. Here's 80,000 that we've been losing in the process. And you guys need to know that. Understand that. That's why we're, another 80,000 off. That means I think we figured we would be between $80,000 and $100,000. We would be within that figure on the difference between income and outcome. So when we come down to our budget this year, we're gonna have to pay really close attention and how we do it. And we have to figure out what we need to do to bring in additional income. Now, I will tell you, according to Bobby Schumer, and she'll be here, you can ask her too. I says, can we legitimately, legally bill people for water and sewer that they have available, but they're not using? And she says, the infrastructure, you bet. Because your infrastructure is our loans. And some of the expenses that we have to have people around to work. And if maybe even if we had some extra money come in, I mean, we could afford another employee if we needed. As an example, we could afford, if we had our reserve accounts up to where they needed to be able to have the vehicle repaired without having to say, oh, well, we can play with these figures and we'd be all right. We would have the money available. And that's what we have to look at. And again, it's fair and equitable. People who have property that are not doing anything with it, they're costing us money. I'm sorry. Now, some counties, some cities, I shouldn't say counties, some cities in the state of Montana, when I went to some of the meetings, they said they were so far in debt or a problem on this, that they went to a point, and I don't recommend this, so don't go out and tell everybody we're gonna do this, okay? They went to the point that said, if you have a building lot that somebody could build a house on and you're not using it or selling, using it or selling it so somebody could build a house on it, you're gonna be billed a 1 EDU to pay for it. If you have property that the water and sewer is not being used because you don't want to pay the expense or whatever on it, they bill them. Have additional buildings that are serviced, and this is something we have to do with the ordinance board. We have to clean up our ordinances and figure out how we're gonna do this. So that we can justify what we're doing. I don't say justify, so we can explain it to people exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. If you have 2 dwellings on the same piece of property, and you're billing or being willing to pay 1 EDU, but you have 2 families there, that's actually 2 EDUs by the state law. And we're not trying to make it hard on people, but we have to know where we're at. We have to know kind of where we need to go to come up with what we need to have for our debt structure and our infrastructure of everything that's going on. Have it really totally irritated you now?
So what do you do about a trailer court?
Trailer court, how many separate trailer courts or trailers are in there? Technically, it should be every trailer is an EDU.
So what do you do with the park?
Same thing.
So if you've got 25 lots with sewer and water on them, that's 25 EDU.
It also depends on the size of the line.
Well, but the other part of it is, you can only have, it's 3/4 inches designed for one EDU for one household. That's an equivalent dwelling unit. So if you have 25, even if it may be supplied by a 3/4 inch line, each unit would have to be an EDU for us to pencil out.
Jack, if somebody has an apartment building with 4 apartments and they have a larger one covers.
That covers those, if, as an example, if you have a 4-unit apartment and you've got an 1.5-inch line, that's 4 EDUs, you're good. If you're trying to do it on a 3/4 inch line, that's what we have to decide how, as council, we're gonna deal with it. Something to think about. Okay? I'm trying to present all the facts that we found out, and Anita was great, and looking at it and finding out. When she did that, it's just the day before of it, I think we said, we kind of leveled out a minute. Then we get all this, and you gotta figure out the laws and rules and regulations and what you can and cannot do. Okay, so now we have to start thinking about how we're gonna deal with it. We're not trying to make it hard up. Don't make these billable accounts. We're making everybody else suffer. We can leave, and we can leave them on there forever and ever and ever, realizing that you're losing $80,000 a year right now. When our new rates go into effect, I bet it's $100,000 or better a year. That's a big drain. Are you okay with this so far? Because we're gonna go on to proposed water project action. When Amy Deichler came to us earlier this year, right after I took office as mayor, she said, well, we were told to go ahead and do this project. 3.5 million, 3.6 million, somewhere along in there. And I said, wait a minute, that's a little high. Can we do it in smaller chunks? Yeah, we can do it in smaller chunks. Came down to 2 million. Came down to, where's that figure? Last figure came out at, it's in the other pile. Now I'm going here. Came out at $1,013,500. She says, if you're gonna go with this project, you need to let us know now so we can make applications for the grants, etc. Okay, we got two things we talked about so far. Number one, our CRP is not in place. And number two, if we go for the grants that she was talking about, if we don't get any of them, we have to get a loan. Okay. I would like to propose that we can shift this till the next session for grants and loan application. Which means it would not be this year, but we would take a look at it in 2028. Okay? It goes in a cycle.
Well, really 2 years from now.
It's 2 year, yeah, it's in a 2-year cycle when you can apply for grants and loans. And that would push this $1 million project out until 2028 for us to take a look at. They would put all the paperwork together and say, okay, we're ready to go on this whenever you tell us to. And we can go that way. Before you vote on that one, can we put another one in with it? The proposed sewer project. I think I mentioned to you that we had a proposal from Pesha that said they wanted $6.5 million project, of which we would get $850,000 debt forgiveness, which meant we would still have $5.7 million indebtedness on that project, sewer project. Now that's phase, it was supposed to be phase 7, but I think we need to go down to making instead of 7 and 8.
The next water will be phase 7.
Oh, next water will be phase 7, and on the sewer, 4. How many more do we have on water? 2?
7 or 8.
7 or 8, and on sewer, I think we got,
Depending on, right.
yeah, we got 3 or 4. Okay, so I mean, that's kind of where we are in the process. Same thing goes on the sewer. And because we got bound up a couple years ago with doing both water and sewer at the same time, that's why both of these are hitting the same time. And if we want to do that project, we're gonna have to push it off. Unless we wanted to go for that. I asked him, can we come down to separate smaller parts? And he came down to 2 million. It was 2 million something.
Like 2.3, I think, or
I
something.
think it was 2.3 million.
Yeah.
Is what he had, 2.5, 2.3 million. Is what he came down to on the revised. It's here. Yeah. 2.5 million. So I would consider, and I think it would be wise if we slow down a little bit. Can we push both of these projects off till the next cycle? Trying to figure out where we are financially. And, you know, they're still trying to say that we have 642 EDUs, which we don't have. And even with the, you know, additional 59 that we're questioning, I'm not sure that we could afford it. And with our CIP not in place, they're not going to be as likely to give us grants or forgiveness of debt like they would. And not only that, we don't have our water and sewer rates nailed down to cover what we currently have, that we should have been doing. I think we need to push back the water and sewer at this point. Pros and cons, cost is gonna go up. It's always going up. If we do a water project, I think the last time we looked at it, it was gonna raise rates another $3 or $4
Mhm.
to do the project. That's based on the 642 EDUs. I've been trying to get them to change that on all the projects, and so far they haven't done it. They keep coming across with that, and they keep saying that our water bill is at, what was one of them? They said we had 30.
From Central Montana?
No, it was, the Pasha deal on the sewer. He came out and he said, okay, you guys are only paying, I think it was like $39 a month on water, and your sewer's at $37.71. I said, wait a minute, we're paying more than that. Well, that's the figures we had. And I said, we don't have 640 EDUs either. Says, well, you'll have to give me all that correct information so I can plug this and calculate. And since we don't have it nailed down. And that's why I would suggest that we wait. Because I can see where we could take on a lot of debt really quick. And I don't think we have the emphasis, the people, residents, in order to be able to do that. The sewer, by the way, on that $5 million loan was $45 increase per month on the sewer rate. And even at the 2.5 or something, 2.6 something like that, it's going to be another, I want to say $8 or $9 per month on the sewer rate. So phase 7 is the water project. What we've done so far, we've done 6 projects. Phase 7 would be the next one, and we have 7 and 8, and I I think they said 8, but then maybe 9, depending upon what we find out later. During a phase, we do a project.
Okay.
Three.
Okay. Structural, you would be okay.
Yeah.
That was my question, Bob. Where was phase 7 or is phase 7?
The phase seven originally gonna be the entire west end
Which is $3 million project.
from mill down towards Dempster's Body Shop.
Okay. So, and where was the space for the sewer project?
That was for 40 new manholes and replacing 24 old manholes.
Yes.
So it wasn't a
Man-
neighborhood project?
No, it was all over town.
Oh, that being said, the cons, we have sewer lines in town that are clay and severe cracks. We don't need to get to, because they're. So there could be an event that would cost a lot of money. But. I still agree, can't afford it. We don't have the money to pay.
We don't have the 5.7 million or the debt structure, nor do we have even enough for the 2.75, something like that, project that he presented to us.
That, I guess, I agree. But I think sewer is above water. With
Yes,
what,
I agree with that.
Okay,
I just do,
and what it does is just throws it out.
right?
2 years, and then we will take a look at it at that point and say, this is what we need or want to fix. And we can go from there, but it gives us a 2-year breather, almost. To take a look at it.
And then like you said, if we have our reserves, cover emergency days for it.
Yeah, yeah, if we get our reserves in there. Now, I'm not sure what we totally have, I mean, you know, we know how much money we got in the general fund. But because the accounting has not been totally done up to this point properly, I can't tell you how much we have in it as a slush. Okay, and that may turn out to be a good thing, but at this point, we can't calculate that. Okay, so with your, with your approval, I think we need to do that.
You need a vote for that?
Yes.
I'll make it.
Okay, second. All questions answered, do you have something else to think about? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, same sign, passing unanimously. Okay, I have on the next list is a thing called lead lines action. I'm just a little discouraged here. Because when we were at rural Montana our water convention, we knew and we were in a meeting talking about lead lines, and we have 39 residencies with lead line right now. Now, is that lead and galvanized both? Or is all the galvanized gone?
So the way they figure when we did our inventory, galvanized is considered.
Oh, okay. So we have 39 in town that need to have that replaced. Currently, the state of Montana. Yeah. State of Montana has $18 million in that account to help the residents replace from the main line to their meter. Okay, and we were told that go ahead.
Correct.
Curb stops, okay, curb stop to the house. Okay, because you got all the others have been changed from the name of the curb stop, okay, those have all been changed. It's from the curb stop to their meter in their house. And we were said that, or told by some people that it looked like it would be roughly, I think it was. We were figuring anyway, that it would be roughly between $350,000 and $450,000 roughly. And we thought, okay, if we could get that figure and that's right, you know, then there's a 70, well, right now they have a 70% debt forgiveness. So if you have a $400,000 project, 70%, that's 280,000 to pay 120,000. No. I can't figure right now. 280 should have $120,000 that you'd have to get a loan for. So it was pretty good. They have $18 million. Not everybody's clamoring for it right now. Because most of the cities have a whole lot more lead lines than we do. Havre just went through a project on that. And because they were the first one in the state and they were experimenting a little bit, they got 100% reduction in debt. And that was a big project. Took them a long time. So we thought, okay, if we have a smaller one, maybe we could do that. So I contacted Amy Deichler, who's our person with that, who's our lead person with that. Tucker's the one that we're working with. We just got a bid back today, $2,500,000. And that's based on 93 lines that need to be changed. And we're saying, wait a minute, there's a problem with that figure. I would like to get permission to pursue this a little farther to see what the actual figures should be. I was in hopes that the figures would be decent enough for it to take a look at and say, yeah, we'll go for that small of a project in order to get it done and out of our hair.
But it has to be done by a plumber, right?
You have to have a plumbing contractor come in and do it. We would not do it. We would, because it's the funds available from the state to get this done for the homeowners. They want it to run through the city and the city do the bid on it, and we don't have to do anything other than just make sure it's done. Our guys don't have to go out and do any of the work, which is a good thing. So we thought this might be a good way to do it. But at 2,500,000, I can't see that.
Is that for the 39 people that have the red line?
Well, they're claiming 893.
And how do
So-
they have that? Because you get into their houses.
I found out today when I called them, they said it was an old report that they got from somewhere.
So what happened every time we would do a phase, we would have the inspector keep a log of it. So then that's going on for the last 10 years.
Sure.
So then now they made it stricter, required to turn in an inventory. So we had to go in every home and inspect it. So that's a separate report. So I think where she's got this 80 is she's still getting back to what her employee did versus what ours. And then there's also every year. There's
Yeah, mine got, it's a broke.
so more number to be 39, but there's also one main here in town.
So anyway, I would like permission or approval by council to pursue looking at this. I'm not gonna approve it until you guys approve it, but I want to pursue getting the right figures in there and see where we're at.
I was
A second.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Thank you. Last item here. I hate to take this much time, Jim. Jawbone Dam repair. Jonathan proposed the figures to you. About $23,000 to have that line sealed off. We will have to do some other stuff separately from that. But again, we can vote to go on that. It will cost us. You cannot get the grant will not cover his $2,500 fee for applying for the grant. We would have to pay that out of our pocket.
I'd have to look. Honestly, I can't tell you because I didn't know.
We didn't about this until about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And that's when we also got this bid on the 2,000,005 for the lead. But we had it on the agenda because we wanted to cover as much as we could tonight, if we could.
But they know how to write the grant, so.
Yes, they do.
It would be worth the money, I think.
They know how to write the grant. I'm pretty sure the $2,500 could be covered some. That does take care of two problems. Because we could repair the one at $11,000 or $12,000, something like that. And then we would have to come back later and repair the other one. It's gonna cost the same amount at that time, because if you don't do it at the same time, then it'd be there. So, I would like to know what you'd like to do. Job on dam, we have until October.
And he said $30,000 grant he could get,
Correct.
and it was over 22,000 to fix it.
23,
23.
22.5, give or take a little. That was gonna be a little bit different. But he can write the grant for 30,000, and I'm not sure how that flows. But again, he did say that we could not have his fees come out of that, we would have to pay that ourselves.
That one, second.
Discussion to go.
That's up to you guys.
Or
Go for it.
Okay, and Susan seconded. Okay, any other questions? Discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same, okay? Thank you very much for some very hard issues this evening. Right. For the reed sleeve, of that. I can't remember, it was 40 or
40 feet. 40 feet.
40 feet, 40 feet. Okay. Okay. Report of public works.
We have been called. But we plan on doing more. We're replacing now, we're in the post office. Now we're addressing safety issues, so we have already that to be replaced, we have done the part. We've been working. And we're replacing the flooring and the old fire hall and so on. You guys notice the storm drain over here from Aeon east is flooding. So we pulled the grate, dug it out best as we can. There's a tree root growing in it, about the size of the culvert. So right now we're talking with the state because we have no record of if that storm drain is DOT or the cities. Doing some research, I just don't know what the answer is for that drinking fountain. Every year it's the same issue, it's vandalized and broke. I checked in getting what they claim is non-vandalized for around $1,000. Doesn't include install. What I have, it's never, not a problem with hard water. You don't turn it over. Now you gotta track me because of the ground here. If we dig that up to replace it with that crater there, so can't replace it until they get the fence done. I just don't know the answer. In my opinion, we went years without it. We get rid of it. Our kids in sport that brought up.
Is that?
I'm not saying we can't replace it. Just fill things up.
I did. About, is that the one that's right
So
behind the baseball fence? I don't know where you're from.
do you know where the red gate is going to the track? You need that. Look near there. The green drain.
Oh,
So when you push the button, like, where the water comes out, it's called a bubble. I put 3 of the city here on there.
Didn't you say last year you put it on and 3 days later it was busted?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna say since the world's full of Stanley's thermos things, I would just let it go.
Well, yeah, but no, it's been.
No. I'm talking about when they baseball field, water, you try to feed
Oh, I thought they were talking about water.
second baseman.
Hold a second, you're talking about something. Okay,
The blue hydrant is on city property, but it's fed.
We guy just put a hydrant there with an adapter where you could, like when the baseball game or something like that, screw on.
Getting found to suppress.
So that must have replaced what was there, because there was a drinking, I mean, there was a hydrant. 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
There's never been.
Most of them get old.
So the green, that the mother had broke on. That was installed when Ian was here,
Right,
the 2010.
okay. Because when I watered the baseball field, there was a spigot there. So I think they replaced the spigot with this fountain, with this water fountain. Well, then they.
It's by the backstop.
There was a pipe there. That we watered the baseball field. That I was confused.
So that would be able to.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
That's gone.
Yeah, so could you put a hydrant where the drinking fountain thing is?
Yes, you can. You can have a big crater there.
Where it drips.
well, no. When
Until-
you dig it to put it in,
Because the ground, you dig down the back of, hit our heating water.
Right.
So last summer, we replaced that hydrant within the RV park. We had craters that took up almost 3 RV. That's how big it gets before you find a way to repair it.
Okay.
So if we go to repair that right now, it's gonna shut down the baseball games. Yeah, crap.
okay, so
So,
at this point, we still need new thoughts and ideas. That's what you're looking for.
yeah.
So it's not turned on right now.
No, we haven't, we did shut off, but we haven't tracked me from Friday.
Right, it's gonna be.
Or it didn't rain.
But, but there's water right in the road
There,
where the light pole. They can build their stand house there. And the county can bid one. This is the county's water.
well,
That's part of our EDUs that we can't build, but we're paying for through the city, not the way we said before. Okay,
But they
anything else?
will have water, the kids would have water.
Anything else? Okay, I know Tim, you're gonna have to take off here soon? Okay, if you're good, we'll go down through the list. If you need to go, we'll let you report and take off. Okay. Okay, clerk treasurer.
Working on the audit, spent this week working on the utility billing accounts with Jack, and we have a paper shredding company coming May 13th from noon to 2. So spread the word. That's all I've got for you. No, we've got money in the recycling grant. Yep. Mhm.
Okay. Done?
Yep.
Okay. Merit report. That's a little report, okay. The county commissioners, when I met with him, they were talking about, nonprofit daycare for our community. They would like to put it in the basement of the clinic where the physical therapy part was. Physical therapy, something? Okay, anyway, there's a meeting, the 30th of this month at 6 p.m. in the library about, people who might be interested in being a part of that, and they would like the city represented to see what's going on, as well as, counting people. So if you're available and would be willing to, it's 6 p.m. on, April 30th at the library to see about putting in a nonprofit daycare center for our community. Okay, the code, I guess, I knew it was in there. The code that says that we have to be self-sufficient for the enterprise funds is 3750-209. 37-50-209. Fund structure. I'm not sure that's. That wasn't quite right, but anyway, that will get us started on it for that. Okay, something to be aware of. And we've talked about it before. Oh, man. We're gonna put this on a different item, aren't we? To be actionable.
What's that?
This is that form from our MMIA.
Oh, yeah.
They say if you voluntarily pull out of the workman's comp in 4 years, if there's any money left in there, you get it back. If you don't voluntarily pull out, then they hold it longer. We've had, I think, 5 workman's comp forum, what'd you say, city workers, and one
Lifeguard.
lifeguard. All of those workman's comps have been totally done away. I mean, they've been totally
Closed.
worked on, closed, and so they're not active. We have no active ones currently. So if we opt to sign out voluntarily, I do have until May 1st.
Mhm.
May 1st to sign this document saying I'd like to voluntarily pull out. So I will have this, we'll bring up motion and all that for the next
Yeah.
council meeting. Okay, we are working on getting performance reviews set up for all of our employees for our personnel file, our personnel handbook. Personnel handbook, we're supposed to be doing that annually. This may be the first year it ever gets done, but we're gonna do it. Okay. If you're ever interested in how expenses are set out between, road, water, sewer, solid waste, park, pool, we do have a form which you can get a copy of.
And that's
to tell
for
you how
payroll.
much the wages are
Yeah, that's for
broken
payroll.
out, how the wages and that is broken out for each of those areas. So it's just for FYI. And I think that's all I have in my report. Mayor, are you okay?
I'll just be real brief, believe I have 8 misdemeanor criminal cases pending, 1 was resolved today. By a plea, I believe 2 and likely 3 will be resolved next 1 to 2. Switching into civil stuff, park hours and alcohol use, I'll try to put together a couple of alternatives. Park street permit, but I think with the park hours, you're probably going to need to amend your title of chapter 4. It's numbered strangely, so I'll try to figure out a consistent numbers. But that title right now, you just have Chief Joseph Park as an ordinance in there about camping and overnight stays, that sort of thing. But to be enforceable, you're going to have park hours. I think you need to have a sequential number in your title 4 about parking. And then I can certainly add, I propose, I'm not suggesting first reading next week, or next meeting, but I'll have some ideas about also some language about prohibiting alcohol use in areas of. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions?
We've been here too long.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, Tim, got anything from sheriff's office for us?
That we should probably address is the incident from 2 weeks ago. We cannot only comment. It is not our investigation, it's not our sandbox for this county mistake. It was originated in their neck of the woods, we assisted them with it, and we don't have any background. So, in the interest of professionalism and not black and term shooting, but we have any background. We got bigger days. We're just needing to put some stuff together for the kids. That presentation will get it done for the drivers and kids on Montana Code and take it for typical traffic infractions we deal with, serious injury, fatality crashes, to prepare them for their responsibilities.
Any items we need for the next meeting? I guess you're done. I assumed I wasn't finished. Any questions for the deputy? The sergeant, right? That's start. Okay. Okay, anything that we need to make sure we have on the next meeting? What do we have for items? Pardon? Cleanup day. Cleanup day. Which is,
And we have the dump stuff, but hopefully Republic will have it numbers for us.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got that on the agenda for next time.
For next time,
Yeah.
Tim, okay. Okay,
Go ahead.
I need the golf course on, is they're gonna apply for a college grant. I'm not sure it's on, but we talked about an overview of having Diane come here and educate the council on the two items that will be on the ballot.
yeah, okay,
Did you get that on there?
I was supposed to.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, Diane,
We need to.
because
Okay.
there's gonna be stuff and they're gonna post to put some stuff in the paper, but people are gonna wonder and they're going to ask you, and you weren't on the committee that did it, so we just thought it might be helpful if Diane would come and say, there's two items. One is the self-governing item and the other one is the council seats at large. Nobody uses their seat right now, it'll rotate at the election time.
And I do have copies of the Harlow and Central Montana Water Annual Water Report if anybody wants copies of them.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, one other thing. We do now have all of our vehicles and personnel equipped with brand new accident equipment. So we all have body cams, dash cams, and brand new tasers from Axon this year. And every single piece of equipment that has a brand name of Axon on it, it all talks to each other. So once we go to a certain speed, you turn on your lights, everything turns on between body cam, dash cam. It's all file share now, so I know Mr. Brooks is very appreciative of that. So anytime you have a body cam, dash cam that needs to get disseminated, it's right there on file drive and it gets kicked out to her. So we have all brand new equipment this year. Better document our incidents.
Good thing. Okay, I guess we're down to approval of claims. Any questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Hold same sign. Finally. 2 hours. We didn't break last week.
No.
Record, did we?